I do wake up early at 5 a.m. I do enjoy taking ice baths or plunges in my cold pool, unlike my wife.
No.
Just gotta go.
I don't like it!
You just gotta go. And I do work out every day. Now, there's no doubt that these have had an impact on my success, but these aren't the reasons why I went from being broke as a joke to becoming a multi-millionaire by the time I was 38. Now, there are probably 77 different habits that you could start doing today, and I'm sure a lot of them are amazing. But speaking from my own experience, here are the top 6 that I can say truly worked for me. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your grateful host, Jeff Rose. This is the Wealth Hacker channel, where we are dedicated to teaching you new ways to build wealth that's not taught to you in schools or by your parents. And today we're talking about rich habits. Now, we already have quite a few things that we do on a daily basis, from brushing our teeth to hitting the snooze button 17 times. Can I get an amen? Amen! But there's no denying the impact that starting and implementing new habits in our daily routine can have an impact on our success. And that's why I love this quote by author James Clear that states, "Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement." In fact, he shared this awesome tweet that showed that if you improve just 1% every day, by the end of the year, you will be 37 times better than you were before you started. So it doesn't matter where you're at in your wealth building journey, you can implement one of these new habits today. So before we go ahead and dive into number 1, go ahead and smash that like button and let's begin. Habit number 1 is make failing fun. And maybe you think I'm a bit of a sicko that I love to fail, but when I look back on all my success, I have learned to love to fail because that means I'm trying new things. And if you think I'm the only millionaire that loves to fail, I assure you there are others. For example, Elon Musk, when he founded PayPal was voted the worst business concept of the year. How did that work for Elon? Oh, he just sold PayPal for $175 million. Elon Musk with the mic drop. Now, initially, I was terrified to fail. I mean terrified. But when I started my career as a financial advisor, I had to cold call every single day.
No, I understand, doctor. I'm really busy here myself. Look, we're gonna come back to you in 1 month with one idea and one idea only. If you like what we have to say, great.
Now I can remember the first time that I got on the phones, I could feel my heart thumping through my chest. That's how nervous I was. And I kept getting rejected and rejected and rejected again and again and again. Then it got to the point where it basically became a game because I knew every time I heard the word no, every time that I got rejected, every time that I failed, I knew I was one step closer to hearing a yes. I had tons of ideas that completely flopped, but with each flop I knew that got me closer to having a win, having a success, and actually making some money. Even here on this YouTube channel, I've had a ton of ideas that completely flopped. And just so that this video doesn't flop, would you do me a favor and smash that like button? Habit number 2 is the ABCs of selling. Always be
closing. Always be closing. Always be closing.
Actually, no, it's not closing. You don't want to always be closing. You always want to be curious. Early in my career, one of the things I learned, and this was truly by trial and error, if I wanted to learn more about my clients and build their trust, I had to ask a lot of questions. And a funny thing started to happen. I started to earn trust from my clients because I led in with curiosity. We live in a world right now where everybody just loves to shout at each other. Hey! So it's refreshing when somebody asks you a question and they actually shut up and listen. What? One of the greatest gifts that you can give somebody is a solution to their problem. So even if there was a situation where I couldn't actually offer the solution, but if I could connect them with somebody that could, guess what? I became their hero. But none of that would have happened if I wasn't able to be curious, if I didn't ask a lot of questions and had a genuine interest or concern to try to help them out. Habit number 3 is to be willing to ask for help. And I get it. There is a ton of satisfaction trying to figure something out on your own and actually getting it done. But sometimes you just don't know the answer. You actually need help. In fact, it's reported that 81% of millionaires constantly seek feedback. They are open to constructive criticism. And I get it. I used to be the stubborn type. I used to be the one that would take pride in not asking for help. But one day I hit a tipping point with my financial planning business that I didn't know the answer, but I knew somebody that might be able to help me out. See, at the time, I still had my Series 7 license, which basically meant that anything that I did online, especially with social media, had to be pre-approved by my compliance department. It was a freaking nightmare. Everything that I did online had to be pre-approved, which basically meant it took 3 to 5 business days for anything to go live. And it finally got to the point where it was a complete time suck, and I knew that I had to break away. I just didn't know how to do it. So when I started doing research, I noticed other financial advisors that had an amazing online presence, and they were doing everything that I wanted to do. I just didn't know how they were getting away with it. So instead of sitting back and complaining, like, how do they get away with this and I can't, I reached out to them. I'm like, hey, you're doing what I want to do. Tell me what you did. Tell me what I need to do differently. So that's when I learned that they had started their own RIA, Registered Investment Advisory Firm. I learned how simple, for the most part, it was. Like, there were still a lot of steps I had to jump through, but just by reaching out, asking for help, I learned what I needed to do in my business. And then I implemented that, and guess what happened? Revenue ended up over tripling over the next 2 to 3 years, all because I was willing to ask for help. Habit number 4 is never assume that you've mastered anything. Always be learning. I remember when I first started my blog, goodfinancialsense.com, this is back in 2008, it didn't take very long where I was averaging over 100,000 unique visitors per month. And this is from a guy that all I had was a financial planning background. I didn't know anything about SEO. Some way, somehow, I figured it out, or at least I thought I did. Fast forward a couple months later, I got hit with my very first Google algorithm update, and what ended up happening was I ended up losing over 75% of my traffic overnight. To say that I freaked out is an understatement. Where did all my traffic go? Same thing could be said about this YouTube channel. I thought I had cracked the YouTube code when I published some new videos back in 2017. Some of those videos hit over 2 million views, and I thought I had mastered it. I had figured it out. The YouTube algorithm be like, So I continue to remind myself to never settle. Never assume that you have it all figured out. Always be learning. That's why it's reported that 61% of millionaires constantly earn a new skill, because they recognize that the way technology is going right now, you have to constantly be learning. You have to constantly be challenging yourself. By the way, if you want to get back at the YouTube algorithm on my behalf, go ahead and give them a middle finger and smash that like button. Number 5 is living healthy if you want to live wealthy. Now, I know I mentioned at the beginning of this video that I am working out every day. That wasn't always the case, but working out, living healthy has been very important to me. You know, my dad passed away from a heart attack in his early 60s. His father passed away from a heart attack in his 60s. So I've been very conscious of taking care of my body. It's worth mentioning that I have 4 kids, 3 of which are boys that all love to play sports. And I've always wanted to be that dad that could play basketball with them for as long as I could. It's also worth noting that they didn't beat me until recently, and I'm pretty sure I still have a winning record. But there's no question when I'm working out consistently, when I'm eating healthy and watching what I'm putting into my body, how much more energy, how much more productive that I am. So it's no surprise when you look at the stats and see that 76% of all millionaires work out at least 30 minutes every single day. Yeah, that's right. Get your flex on. All right, looking at number 6, reviewing my goals consistently. And this was the big one. Prior to this, like a lot of people, I would do my New Year's resolutions. And I would do this at the end of December, and then I wouldn't review those New Year's resolutions until the following December. So it makes so much sense that 91% of people fail with their New Year's resolutions because they're not reviewing them on a consistent basis. It wasn't until I paid a lot of money to join a business coaching program that taught me how to do 90-day goals. And it's a little bit more involved than that, but essentially what ended up happening was instead of looking at my goals only once a year, I would review them on a quarterly basis. And I would look at my 90-day goals, I would look at my 1-year goals, my 3-year goals, and also review my lifetime goals. And I would do this once every single quarter. And it seems like such a simple habit, like that shouldn't have that much of an impact. But what ended up happening was my revenue grew, and not grew by like 2 to 3% a year. All of a sudden I started seeing 20%, 30%, 50% growth. But not only that, like making a lot more money is a lot more fun, but also being more productive, having more fulfillment in your day where you actually enjoyed getting out of bed. There were so many positive byproducts by reviewing my goals every single quarter that you couldn't deny the impact that it had. And that's why I'm so adamant about reviewing my goals every single 90-day period, and why I highly suggest that you do it too. Now, if you want access to a cheat sheet that I've created that can help you have a much more productive day, you can grab the link in the description. This is my 10x Goal Accelerator cheat sheet that will help you be more productive and have a laser-like focus each and every single day. Once again, go ahead and click a link in that description and go ahead and download that cheat sheet right now. The cool thing about these habits, they're not exclusive to me. They're not exclusive to your coworkers or your family members that you despise. You can start doing any of these habits today. So which one are you going to start? All right, y'all, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. As always, this is Jeff Rose reminding you that it's your money, it's your life, and only you can make it awesome. Until next time, peace.